How's it going, everybody? I am Donut. This is, of course, a Black Lives Matter, All Cops Are Bastards, and trans rights supporting channel. If you're not supporting that, then you can get the fuck off this channel. We are back to the TV shows. We are caught up now on all of the movies currently. I am not going to be jumping into the Disney Plus shows until we are back up on this, and the reason for that is I'm not sure if I'm continuing on to Phase 4, but you probably already heard me talk about that in my Spider-Man discussion. If you haven't, then yeah, I don't know if I'm going to do Phase 4 yet or not. We got a long ways to go before I have to think about that, so we don't have to think about that, and we're not going to think about that. We're going into the Netflix shit again. Iron Fist Season 1. Now, the order is going to be all the Netflix stuff and then all the non-Netflix stuff as far as the TV shows go. That's just kind of how I'm going to be doing it. So, to just give a brief overview of it, we're after Iron Fist Season 1. It'll be Defender Season 1, Punisher Season 1, Jessica Jones Season 2, Luke Cage Season 2, Iron Fist Season 2, Daredevil Season 3, Punisher Season 2, and then Jessica Jones Season 3. Again, all you really need to know is that we're doing all the Netflix stuff first. Then I will do Runaways and Cloak and Dagger, just going between them with Runaways, then Cloak and Dagger, Runaways and Cloak and Dagger, because that's how it came out. And then Hellstrom at the end. And yeah, I mean, those are probably have a lot more higher chance of me dropping them if I just am not into them, or if they don't seem like they're going to be relevant in any way to future stuff. I'm excited to get into some more Netflix shit. What do I think Iron Fist is going to be? Like, it's going to be about martial arts. Last thing I saw was Claire picking up a pamphlet for a karate dojo, which I assume is going to be Iron Fist. I'm going to assume the main character is going to be another generic, muscly, bearded, short-haired white guy. It would be cool if we got an Asian person, but I highly doubt it, so that's my guess. I don't really have any other guesses. We're probably not going to start with Claire. Like, you know, that's going to be something that's going to come up later. It's not like we're going to follow her, you know, into it or anything. We're going to start with our main character. But yeah, I don't know anything about Iron Fist or at all, so let's just get into it. Snow gives way. The snow gives way. What do I think that means? Like the snow gives way to the heat, maybe? The heat in your heart? I don't know. Alright, let's get into it. Okay, we're here talking about Iron Fist.
Aw, yeah.
If you are watching these reactions for the first time and not any of my other MCU reactions, this is my fiance,
Hello.
Thermite. He is joining me for the discussions of these because you have seen, you know, at the beginning you were joining me because you had seen all of the movies. Now I've all seen all the movies.
Yeah, you got power.
But you are still the lead on. It's good to have someone here who knows more and know about comics and like that sort of stuff. So that's why you're here for just the discussions.
Yeah, like you are. Like, do you know anything about Iron Fist apart from just martial arts?
I mean, yeah, I said all that going into the reaction. Like, I didn't know anything about it or anything like that. So, I mean, everybody already, you know, has got my, like, I didn't know anything about Iron Fist at all. The only, like, I assumed we were gonna get, like, a Luke Cage type, like a super buff, like, brooding sort of dude. But, yeah, I like that. That's the only thing like I was thinking going into it. Is probably gonna do martial arts. Probably gonna get like a big buff brooding dude.
Right.
But yeah, exact opposite kind of dude.
Yeah, Danny's not like that.
No. But okay, so really quickly, you know, because I'm so unfamiliar. Like, you know, I wanted to Daredevil. I'm familiar with Daredevil. I'm familiar with Punisher. You know, some of the stuff like that. But yeah, this. What did you know about Iron Fist before this came out? Like, what did you know about Iron Fist when it was just comics or whatever?
I knew I'd say I knew as much about Iron Fist as I did about Luke Cage.
Okay.
Like, I'd say in comics they're very similar. Like, they fit, you know, very similar niches, but like Power Man is more of a like blaxploitation thing, whereas Iron Fist is more of a like kung fu thing.
More like the White Wolf, the Daniel Rand, the oh wait,
he is Daniel Rand.
No. What am I thinking of? Okay, it was Davis. Okay, I was actually like, you know, curious about that. The name Rand, I was like, that sounds familiar. Why does that sound familiar to me? It sounds familiar to me because I have read all of the original Khazar.
Right, the Golden Age Khazar.
Yeah, the Golden Age Khazar. Not the other Khazar, but I have read all of the Golden Age Khazar,
Yeah.
because there's actually not that much.
First comic book to do a 2-page spread.
First comic ever in the history of comics ever to do a
Yeah.
2-page spread. A lot of people attribute it to Batman, or to not to Batman, to Captain America.
Yeah.
But that is actually not the first one. I constantly see lists of people saying that, and then in the comments people are like, no, it's actually this Khazar one is the very first one to ever do it. But yeah, so yeah, that is exactly what this is based off of. Cool. So I am like getting this basically. I mean, like, you know, it is like it's interesting that they're going with. So I should say the original Golden Age Khazar was David Rand. Yeah, just going by Khazar, but yeah. So and John Rand was the father. That's what I was thinking of as well. But yeah, what is the Khazar that I'm sure you're more familiar with? The Silver Age Khazar.
He's not that important.
Okay, but yeah, it's a different name. Kevin Plunder is that dude's name. So it's like I feel like they are, you know, going. I don't know the Silver Age, but maybe they're going more off the David Rand Golden Age stuff. Either way, that thing was he was a white boy. Had his father and mother. They crashed in the wilderness. Mother dies immediately. Father like lives on a little bit longer. Father starts going crazy, and then just says like, we're just gonna live in the woods forever.
Yeah.
Son grows up there. And then, like, the rest of the, like, father dies, and kid just grows up with, like, the,
Animals.
not only Amazonian-like, you know.
Sure.
The Congo. That's what I was thinking of. Couldn't remember what the actual name of it. But yeah, just grows up in the Congo with the animals, and then just becomes, like, primitive boy, you know.
Yeah, very Tarzan.
Tarzan, yeah. And yeah, but that is, you know, this one is very, like, the Himalayas. It's also very, like, Chinese and Mandarin and like the secret dragon stuff and like it's all this sort of stuff, whereas the David Rand stuff was more like fighting against like you know, like Blood Diamond people coming in, and you know, it was very like a lot of the Golden Age was very anti-white man, which I really love. So many of the heroes in Golden Age were just like outright say, I hate the white man.
Yeah, that's Namor.
That's Namor. That's Khazar. I love them. They're my two favorite fucking Golden Age heroes. But yes, it's cool that we're getting, you know, that sort of thing. Also, similar very appearance with the, like, curly blonde hair.
Right.
And, like, you know, same sort of build, like, not, like, buff, but sort of, like, twinkish muscle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, like, scraggly, the homelessness kind of vibe going on, especially when he goes to, America, like, for, you know, a short little arc thing. I think they're definitely going on that way more than they are Kevin Plunder, and I say that as someone who's not running the other stuff, but like I know what that Khazar looks like, and it's such a different vibe than what David or Danny looks like.
And until this very moment, I never considered it at all. But I do, like, in the comics, it's also true. Like, Danny Rand is also very much cut from the same cloth as Golden Age Khazar.
Okay.
So, like, yeah, I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that.
But yeah, I didn't think about that in the comic sense. I was just talking about the show, but yeah. In the comic sense, yeah, that is probably like the, you know, as someone who's read a lot of the Golden Age stuff and none of like the other stuff, but knows some of the stuff about later comics.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it definitely seems like they just revamped entire, like, we're just going to take this character, literally have them look almost the exact same and have the exact same thing, but just called him something else. And that seems maybe what they did with him. Is his name in the comics Danny Rand?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm sure they probably did. That's so close, and the appearance is so close. Can you get me an image of him in the comics? Really
Yeah, sure.
Okay, yeah, not close at all.
No.
Okay, yeah, so in the comics, not close at all, and also it took you like forever to find a single image of his face. So, I don't know what that means about the comics, but yeah, it does not look like him in the comics at all.
Yeah.
This looks just like David Rand, and again, the fact that it's Danny Rand, it's gotta be. But that makes me even more hype. I'm very excited to see where we're going to go with that going forward. Like obviously, I mean, it's based off this, but like, I don't know how much Iron Fist in the comics took from the original Khazar run, and how much I love the original Khazar run, especially Khazar as a character, which is carrying over quite a bit into Danny, a little bit.
I can see it.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. So, back on like the what you knew about Iron Fist going into this. Because I always like to know that, like, going into these shows, like, what was people, you know, what do people think about going into this, you know, show?
Yeah, I'd say people mostly know his backstory, and then his, like, being like a street level person, fighting bad guys with martial arts.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. But so it is like, it's another one of those things where it's like people were vaguely familiar with it and they kind of wanted to revamp it in a big way.
Yeah, like I would say legitimately, it is almost 1-to-1 the same experience people would have with Luke Cage.
Yeah.
Luke Cage is a bit more popular.
Is Jessica Jones like that? Or would
No.
you say it's more like close to the comics?
Jessica Jones is way closer to the comics.
Okay.
Like Jessica Jones is also just way more recent, whereas like Iron Fist and Power Man are both like very Silver Age.
Yeah. Because, Daredevil, it doesn't seem like it's trying to do a big revamp. Punisher doesn't seem like it's trying to do a big revamp. Jessica Jones doesn't. But, Luke Cage and now Iron Fist definitely seem they're trying to do a big, like, not revamp in the sense of, like, we're keeping it similar, but we're going to, like, really, the vibe of what, this is going to be way different.
Yeah.
Especially with the similarities with the Khazar of their father being a very like extremely rich person before they crashed and that. Same thing here. I'm curious as what they're going to do with that. Like if like he came here to like get back the company and all that, but like I don't know why. Like there's a lot of questions that we have right now. Like why did he decide to? I like that we had also like Ward like bringing this up in the thing. Not these exact questions, but why now? Like why come back now? It's not like he is like, okay, well now you're old enough to like leave or whatever. Like he's pretty, he's like middle 20s, so like why now? He has the whole thing of like I have to protect this long like name thing. So how is he doing that here? Like, if that is his like, this is my goal in life, this is what I do to protect this, is that a like just by living he is upholding it and protecting it, or is it a physical place that he is? It seems like a physical place that he has to protect. There's plenty of questions going on with like what he wants to do with the business now, why he is coming, why this is all happening now. Like there's so many questions just revolving around that one question. Why now?
Yeah. And also I think like the circumstances around what he knew prior to getting here. Like presumably he must have taken a plane or a boat or something.
Yeah.
But like he doesn't seem to know much about the city or anything. Like he was very surprised to learn what was going on with the company.
Yeah.
Like it's not a like he should know it. It is just a like, something to keep in mind.
Yeah. And I don't know how he would have gotten there, because it's going to be probably some magical stuff. Like I assume it's probably more like a portal sort of thing.
Okay.
Rather than maybe not a portal, but it depends. Like how wacky are we gonna get with this? Because it's Asian and it's the MCU. I'm feeling like it's gonna be real magic-y. Like
Do you think that the Netflix MCU did like straight up magic before Doctor Strange did in the movies?
See, that's the thing I'm thinking about, because like in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. we've had portal people and stuff like that, and it's not that weird to have a portal person.
Sure.
You have like a portal that's like a little bit more sci-fi in terms of like do I believe that they just had a portal he could step through? But no. Do I believe that they had somebody that could just teleport him, there? Well, yeah, plenty of shows have done that already. It's not that weird. So that's, I guess, what I mean more by magic. Sort of thing. And especially all those sort of, like, the one I am thinking was from Afterlife in the human thing. Not canon really to the MCU, but still, it is, again, that, like, Asian sort of, like, ritualistic magic sort of stuff the MCU loves to do. And I'm curious to see like how they're going to do it. I feel like they're doing it in a way I really enjoy in this, as opposed to like Doctor Strange.
Okay.
I'm not sure really enjoy, but they're doing it in a way I enjoy as opposed to Doctor Strange. Like I'm gonna have to see what they're doing, but like I feel like Danny's very respectful as a person. I feel like he's very kind and nice, and I was very hesitant about it. Like I was into him, but I was very hesitant to like him as the episode was going on. And I do think the vast majority of that reason is just the fact that his name is Danny and he looks like Danny Masterson. But the guy who played Hyde from That 70s Show, infamous rapist piece of shit.
Oh no, jeez.
Yeah, terrible dude.
Okay.
But like immediately he looks so much like him, and then they're like, oh yeah, and his name's Danny, and I'm like,
oh no.
It took a while for really like get out of my head. But yeah, I'm super into this. Like I love the. At first I thought we were going for like the vagrant sort of thing, which is not really what he is, but that's also the vibe that he's giving off. he's giving, like, he has the vibe like he has walked around like so many just countries, and
Yeah.
like he has the vibe like he has walked from the Himalayas to here, which is why I don't, maybe he has, because that is the vibe that he gives off.
I will say, like, one of the only things he says about where he came from is that you can't get there from here.
Yeah. But to be fair, that might mean, like, again, they say the same sort of thing about, like, Afterlife, where it's like, oh yeah, it's China, but not really China, and then you're like, oh yeah, it's just China in the mountains. Like, that's kind of what I'm imagining this is going to be. Like, you can't get there from here. By that I mean, like, you can if I told you.
Fair.
Like, I assume he means, like, it's not, like, on a map, like,
Right,
if I didn't bring you there, then you wouldn't be able to go, but I assume it's still accessible by foot,
Right.
probably. Yeah. So, where do we want to move on from here?
I did want to ask you about Danny's fighting so far. I mean, I know it's episode 1, but, like, do you have any thoughts on the way he fights?
It's not that fun. Like, it's whatever.
Sure.
I'm sure it's going to be more interesting later, but right now when they're trying to make it seem more normal, which I think is what they're trying to do, like they're trying to make it not look as crazy, and I think they're going to go wackier in the future. But right now, it feels too floaty, and it feels kind of like, I don't know. I just don't feel the choreography is that good.
Fair.
It's kind of like, it's very obvious, like, I'm gonna put my hand here and you're gonna grab my hand. It's very obvious choreography, but it's whatever.
Yeah.
It's the focus of, it seems like it's gonna be the focus of the show, so I hope they do it better later. But right now, it's not really, like, the fighting is so not a thing in this right now, so I'm not really worried about it, or not really caring about it that much. And I gotta say though, just like getting into this episode and getting into more Netflix stuff in general, and getting into a TV show again, I have been watching these movies for this whole time, and I've been like, oh man, I'm finally caught up on the movies. It's been so nice to be able to have like one of these movies to watch every week, and now I'm gonna have to go back to the TV shows and everything, and then watch one episode of a TV show, and I'm immediately like, oh yeah, I like this way better.
You're just a TV boy.
I am. I will always like TV more than movies. I would say about 5 minutes into this episode, I was enjoying it more than any of the MCU movies I had seen so far. I can't help it. I am a TV boy. I like TVs. It has so much more, like, able to just sit in the moment and enjoy it and let me, marinate in the character. And, like, I just don't get that in the movies. And, I don't get that able to, like, TV shows that have that immediate, I can talk about it because I'm going to immediately watch the next episode, which is going to carry over directly from that last episode. Rather than, like, the movie, who knows what they're going to carry over and, like, keep. And who knows what the tone is going to be. Who knows what the blah, blah, blah is going to... I'm just... I'm a TV boy. I'm a TV boy, tried and true. And, this was perfect to get back into because it was, getting back into a TV show, and also with, like, introducing the character with a song, which is my absolute number one. Love it. For me specifically, like, I have said it on so many of my reactions at this point, but I am just so autistically attached to music and character, and if a character is introduced with a song, I will think about them forever. I have not stopped thinking about John Garrett once a week for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because he's introduced with the fucking great song. And that's also, it has to be a song I like, or, can get into and anything like that. But this one was perfect. I mean, it immediately gives you an idea of the character, like seeing the way he looks like from the feet up, like as we go up, and then again playing Outcast, in this time playing an Outcast song from a walk. That is a Walkman, right? I'm not good at my technology. In a what year would this have come out in? Because this was like 2016.
I think it's 2016,
something like that. But yeah, absolutely perfect. Immediately, like I have such a hard time putting it in words, which is why connect so much with like song and character. I started my entire YouTube career because I loved JoJo because every single character had a song that I could make a video to.
You know, I've never considered that specifically.
I mean, that is why I started the channel.
Also, we were wrong. Iron Fist was 2017.
Okay, well, 1 year later.
1 year. I keep on forgetting how jam-packed a lot of the Netflix stuff especially is.
Yeah.
Where, like, the seasons will come out, like, 1 year after another, or sometimes within the same year.
It's crazy to me. I think there will be more gaps, but it's so close.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, so this Walkman is going to be ideal for me. I am going to love it. Like, the only character that I've really been able to be, like, you know, detach, like, the songs from, like, the character or anything like that is, like, Peter Quill.
Sure.
You know? Because, aside from Come and Get Your Love, there's, like, no real, like... The songs are not, like, connected to Peter. In Guardians Volume 2, more so, but that soundtrack I didn't enjoy as much as the first one. But yeah, that more just reminds me of the movie rather than, like, the characters.
Because I remember in, like, your Iron Man 1 and 2 reactions, you were very into Tony and Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
And then they kind of dropped that.
Not even, Black Sabbath.
I thought it was Black Sabbath.
You mean AC/DC?
Ah.
I'm trying to remember if he has listened to Black Sabbath. But there's also the song, I can't remember what its name is. The one he's listening to while he's building the... I can't fucking remember which scene it was now. But it's the really whiny song that, very iconic, super popular song. Everybody knows immediately what I'm talking about. You're the only one who doesn't know what the hell I'm talking about. It's the super, super whiny, like, punky song that is, like, such an encapsulation of Tony. Like, and I feel like they've gotten away with, like, I don't want to talk about Tony anymore.
Sure.
I don't want to talk about Tony.
It's okay. No more Iron Man, only Iron Fist.
But yeah, I will always be attached to the characters in the song. Like, but that also makes me worried because, like, in Humans, I was, like, jumping head first into Maximus as a character because I loved, like, the song playing with the ending of the episode and everything. And then in Humans, as it went on, turned to be the biggest piece of shit ever, except for S.H.I.E.L.D. So, you know, I'm worried, but I'm in. I'm fully in. I'm buckled in.
Fair. I think that's all anyone can ask of you.
Yeah. Now, I will say, I don't know, I still don't know what the fuck the point of playing the song at the end was. That felt like such a, like, TV shows do this, right? They play a song at the beginning, you play it at the end?
Yeah, like...
I don't know what the point is.
I can understand that it's meant to be ironic, but it doesn't really elevate the scene at all. It's not a, like, it's really smart that they did that. It is just, they did do that.
Yeah, it has that feeling of, like, isn't this ironic? But there's nothing ironic about it.
Right.
It's just, like, you know, the ironic part they're talking about is he was in a plane crash and now there's cheerful music playing.
Right.
Which is... Like, it's not even that cheerful. Like, Suppression Queen's not that cheerful. It's upbeat, but it's not like it's a, you know, it's not like it's a happy, everything is happy song.
Sure.
So, you know, it just doesn't have that, like, it's a, I get what they were going for, but it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
That doesn't. Now, something that does work. Let's talk about Ward and Joy.
Oh boy.
And Ward's father. What was his father's name?
His father's name was Harold.
Harold. Okay.
So,
I mean, do you want to say something first?
Actually, no. You go ahead.
I ramble so much. You're gonna lose your train of thought. You go.
Okay.
I'm gonna remember mine.
All right. I just wanted to bring it up now before I forget.
Yeah.
But we are introduced to Harold via the screen that says, "By the way, Harold dead."
Oh, really?
Like, Harold is dead. Or, you know, dead. He died of cancer.
Yeah.
Like 12 years ago.
But, okay, so is that what he was reacting to?
Yeah.
Okay. See, yeah, I wasn't sure what he was reacting to in that moment, but
yeah.
my reading speed is so goddamn slow.
Yeah.
So, okay. Gotcha. That's what he was reacting to in that scene there.
Yeah.
I mean, I filled that in, you know, later on, but I didn't, like...
They spell it out.
Yeah, I didn't realize I should have seen that.
Yeah. But yeah, like, they said he died of cancer. He doesn't look like he's dead of cancer.
No, I mean, do we need to talk about this? Very obviously pages. What do you want to say?
I mean, why, though?
Okay, so, like, yeah, I mean, I've said in my reaction, but let's get this why.
Yeah.
So, my theory is that, Harold is his name?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Harold is the one who, orchestrated the crash, then, faked his own death to get the suspicion off of him, because otherwise it was probably very obvious that it would be him.
Sure.
And the only way that it couldn't be him is if, he was dead.
Right.
So, even though that happened later,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's, like... Or maybe, like, the heat was on him and then he killed himself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He killed himself as in, like, fake killed himself.
Yeah.
Now, the cancer thing is interesting, because, like, that is a different kind of, orchestrating your own death. And that's a very, like, with the kind of person he is, that's so much more concrete than anything else. No one's going to question it. It's not like you got hit by a train. It's not like something like an anvil fell on your head. You died of cancer. And I imagine with the amount of money that he has, it's pretty easy to fake.
Right.
And it's a very, it's such a, like, I don't know how to put it. It's very, it shows a lot about his character, that he is smart enough to be willing to, like, create a fake death that is extremely plausible.
Yeah, like, it's very plausible. It also, like, doesn't leave any, external problems.
Yeah.
He could have,
And it doesn't have to be something that, the heat's on him and then it happens like that. It could be something that he has been, I have fake cancer for, like, all this time, and then I can just say that it kills me when I needed to.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's an easy, like, thing to just pull and jump out when you need to. So, tells us a hell of a lot about him.
Yeah.
Now, with the, like, he's not telling Ward that he caused this or anything like that.
Yeah.
And there is a part of me that goes, like, did he not do it? Is this all a coincidence? But, I'm sticking with my, he is the one who caused it.
Like, the thing that also makes me suspect him is the fact that his son was so willing to jump to the conclusion of, did you hire a fake Danny Rand to make my life more difficult?
Oh, that was such a great line.
As part of an elaborate trap in order to mess me up. Or, like, as a test. Like, if his son, in, complete private, was willing to come up with that as an immediate, like, did you do this? I feel like that also says a lot about him.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's so exemplary. And the boy, Kyle, was it? Yeah. Also, like, just having him there elevates the scene so much, more than just, like, two characters, like father and son, just talking and having this thing. Knowing that there is just this awkward boy in the background who's just having to listen to this entire thing, and also knowing that, again, he is the kind of person, like, it shows us that, like, he is not the kind of person who's like, I am extremely untrusting, I am extremely worried that something might go wrong. He's kind of like, everything's going to go all right, and I'm going to trust this person and let them hear literally all of this, because if I do let them do that, on top of, like, all the other shit that he said, like, there's all this stuff that he demonstrated, and then on top of all of that, there is if he is here listening to all of this and hearing all of this, then that is going to make him even more loyal.
Yeah.
He's now thinking, I'm going to kill him if he does anything.
Right.
Oh, yeah, really enjoyed that. His character, Harold, reminds me, it feels so much like an actual, like, less comedic version of, in Silicon Valley, Gavin. Feels so much like that. Like, a less angry, less comedic, that, like, with the blood boy and everything.
Yeah.
He also has a lot of that, in his, like, introductory scene, it felt like he was going really heavy on, like, a Trump impression. Like, he towards as the scene, like, went, it like really faded, and he got, like, into a different kind of voice, but, like, and the introduction it felt super heavy Trumpy to me.
I can definitely see it. I think that was definitely a, like, how do we set the tone right at the very start, and then it it kind of evolved.
Yeah. Even with the hair and everything. But I'm very excited to see, this going forward, because, this is a good take on it.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to get another Ward that I can like now. Now my other Ward has been ruined.
Oh, no.
But Ward himself, fascinating character. I thought he was behind the whole thing, and I actually like that. Like, by the end, I'm fully convinced that he, has no involvement in the plane crash or anything like that.
Right.
He is, of course, a horrible piece of shit. But, like, I love that. He is the middle one.
Yeah.
Like, they're not really trying to redeem him in any way. And, like, I think that father-son scene was a great example of, like, making Ward such a piece of shit and so despisable throughout the episode before we get to that helps that scene not feel like they were trying to make us sympathize with him.
Yeah.
Which so much other stuff, like, you know, you want to introduce a bigger bad, and then sometimes it's hard to do that without making you sympathize a little bit with the smaller bad.
Yeah.
And I feel like they did a really good job of doing that without that happening. How did you feel? You know?
I'd agree with that. Like, they feel like two different types of villains.
Yeah.
And I think especially the fact that, like, I don't think Ward and Joy know that much about what's going on, but they're, like, their hands are still dirty. They're still doing bad things.
Yeah.
Like, I really like the gradation of that, because it means that we can, like, Danny can try to get through to them, and we as the audience, you know, can stay on that and think, like, maybe he will succeed.
Yeah.
Because there is a bigger bad. There is someone who he has no idea about.
Yeah. Or, you know, he has an idea about, but doesn't know that they're still out there.
Yeah.
Or doesn't even know that they would be bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that in a second. What I meant by that sentence. But also with Joy as well, you know, throughout the episode, making her feel like the one who is more reasonable and, like, getting us on her side. And at the end, her being the one who is now put Danny in probably the worst, like, we don't know what the hell situation he's in right now, but it seems real bad. So, yeah. Yikes. Yeah, I don't know what to say about like, you know, the situation he's in. I don't have any theories or guesses as like what specifically. Like, obviously they're going to just try and get some information out of him, but more so than that, I don't have any theories.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think they did an excellent job of execution on, like, you know, revealing how awful each three of them were.
Yeah. I also really like that we get Harold, you know, outright saying, like, you know, the whole, like, if he's alive, this means all these other things. Because that also brings up the immediate explanation of, like, why wouldn't they just kill him?
Yeah.
Like, there are a lot of things they don't know, and I understand that he would be suspicious enough to want to keep him around.
Yeah, and it's great having Ward be this extremely smart person and someone who is like, you know, let's think about this, what is the most logical explanation, and going through all this stuff, while meanwhile overlooking so many other obvious things because he is extremely emotional.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I really appreciate that. Whereas, like, his father is someone who is, you know, also very logical, very emotional as well. Like, with the, you know, like, don't talk back to me, blah, 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 blah. But, like, you know, he also has, like, this sort of, like, he's not perfectly, they're not trying to make him out to be a genius.
Right.
You know, he already feels fallible. He already feels like, you know, he's not fully thinking it through. He is just putting in the bare amount of, like, you know, like, do this, you know, but he's not really fully thinking it through. And, yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I will, you know, so Danny is coming back to, here after all these years, wanting to take back the company and all that, and you know, he was like, you know, he has great memories of being around this place as a kid, and of Harold as a kid, he has great memories of him, and some of that. I don't fault him for any of that. Like, I don't fault him for not, like, you know, thinking, like, you know, that there could be bad stuff going on, or, like, you know, or you know, glorifying this, like, company or whatever, because, like, he is still, like, a kid kind of with the, you know, his views on the company, like, or in just, like, the kind of world, like, he really has no idea really what the world is like. I mean, he was old-ish when the plane crashed. I mean, he was, like, you know, he was old enough to know enough, but young enough to where I'm willing to let a lot of it slide. Yeah. Especially for the time period where he was growing up. So, yeah, you know, I'm very curious to see if he's going to get, like, you know, semi-radicalized. Because it actually seems like that's kind of what they're going for, especially with the homeless guy that he was with and everything. Like, that, you know, when he was like, oh, people see us as the same, I was thinking, like, he was looking down on him in that moment. But, like, that moment was a way more of, like, this is the first time he has seen homeless people, probably. Right. Like, as a kid, he probably has, but of course, with the way his family is, they were probably like, oh, don't look over there, son, don't look at those pores. So, yeah, I imagine that, like, this is the first time he's really seeing the homeless people, seeing the drug problem, and seeing, you know, like, stuff like that. Like, so, yeah, I'm curious as, like, where he's going to go with this, and, like, I do think it's going to be a thing where he gets control of the company and has, like, he is the one with the money. We now have, like, the lawyers, we have the one with the money, we got the power one.
The power one.
The two power ones. I mean, Luke Cage and Jessica Jones was the two power ones. I mean, Jessica Jones is also a detective.
Yeah.
Luke Cage is Harlem's protector. But I mean, he's not like a there's not like a job that's gonna help in a system sense. But I mean, Jessica Jones
Yeah.
isn't either.
I feel I think Luke's thing was probably going to just be like knowing people and people liking him. Like he is the hero of Harlem.
Yeah, he's like the heart. He's like the people would look and go like, okay, they're a good group. I know that guy. Like he's a really great guy. And like Jessica Jones also, she is. I said like she doesn't have much systematic help or anything. But to be fair, the fact that she was in the case with like the first like big super stuff going to court and everything. She's going to be extremely famous for that, and which would help a lot. They are pretty famous now.
Yeah.
Like, Luke Cage and Jessica Jones, I mean. Like, Daredevil, still not as famous.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Famous in the sense of, like, people know he's out there, but not famous in the sense of, like, a person.
Yeah. And if Danny, like, even if he doesn't get the company, if he publicizes that he's around, he's going to immediately become famous as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm very curious to see what they're gonna do with him and the company going forward. I'm fascinated with that. And just the design difference between Danny, Ward, Joy, and Harold, like just all four of them, the design difference between them is incredible. And I really, really appreciate it. Also, I really appreciate the design difference between young Danny and old Danny. Because they don't like, it is like a, most of the time, if you see somebody they haven't seen in a long time, you're still going to be, like, instinctually yourself, kind of like, that is them, especially in the way they're talking and their mannerisms and all that. But, like, they did a great job of, like, Danny looks so insanely different than he does as a kid. And his mannerisms are all different. As a person, he is so entirely different.
Yeah.
Like, it might as well be a completely different person entirely just showing up here. And so, yeah, while the scene was happening, it was kind of confusing to me. It was a little, like, it felt unrealistic to me.
Sure.
And, like, that definitely worked in retrospect, where I was like, okay, that what was going on. I don't think they meant it as, like, a mystery box sort of thing, but it hit me as one.
Sure.
And it actually worked better because of that, I think.
Okay.
Whereas, if they wanted me to immediately buy that, that they wouldn't recognize Danny, like, that just wasn't going to work. Like, I was just like, why are they not? The only thing I will say that's just, like, bad about this episode is just, like, he just doesn't say anything that would get them to know that he is Danny.
Right.
Like, there's so much that they could say.
Like, it isn't until he has Ward in the car when he brings up the frog thing.
Yeah.
When I was like, okay, that's a really specific memory. Because I was also playing the game of, like, if I were Ward or if I were Joy, would I believe him? And for a long time, it was a big no.
Yeah, and that is a great thing, because, like, even if you did that in a scene where Ward and Joy were in the same thing, and then Ward just said that never happened, like, you could still do that. Like, either way, that scene was great, because Ward can just deny it straight up and say, that never happened, even if he does believe it. And he can deny it himself, He might... So Ward-like with these two Wards. I feel like I'm talking on the same Ward. I just re-saying shit I already said. But yeah, it's that, like, burying it down and convincing yourself that you were not the one who did it. And it was like, no, that didn't happen. That was just a... nah.
Right.
Yeah. But I think, getting back onto it, like... The fact that, he only did it with Ward in the car the one time, and it's like, throughout the rest of the thing, never.
Yeah.
And that's like, I had to suspend my disbelief for that. That's so stupid. It's really, really dumb.
Yeah.
But, whatever. Like, it's not the kind of thing where I think they had to do it. I feel like they could have just written the scenes in a different way around it.
Yeah.
Or something. Like, the scenes did kind of go on a little bit too long for the fact that he wasn't saying anything. Like, they could have just had the sort of scenes be shorter and keep having him be interrupted and whatever. Either way, that's my only real problem with the episode, was him just feeling really obstinate and not telling them. And so I don't know if his headache things are a power sort of thing. No, I don't want to say power, but a sort of like thing that he learned or trained or like something like that, or if it is just like a anxiety thing, a sort of like panic attack because of the plane crash and everything.
Right.
Because it always is him remembering that.
Yeah.
But it also seems to be bringing on a lot of aggression as opposed to like like most panic attacks kind of like shut you down.
Yeah.
Whereas this is kind of like making him very riled up and wanting to punch.
Right. Huh.
So I'm curious if it's a thing like while he was training, you know, they were like, you know, get back up or you're gonna die like your parents. Like that's kind of the thing I'm imagining.
Okay.
Like where when he gets in that like fight or flight thing, it also immediately brings him back to his parents because that's how he was like trained within like
That makes sense.
beating him down, breaking him down like that.
Yeah.
But I hope that's not the case because like I don't want this to be like a, you know, the people that trained him and all that were the bad ones.
Yeah.
And blah blah blah.
I took it as more of a, he probably hasn't thought that much about his parents in the crash, like, since it happened. Like, not in a he doesn't think about it, but in a, like, he hasn't had to revisit those memories that much. And now he's in a situation where he is, like, thinking about his past life and thinking about the crash.
I get that. It's the aggression that is.
Yeah.
Like, the aggression and the, like, feeling like he has to calm himself down or he's about to, like, black out and start beating the shit out of people.
Right. It's...
That's what it feels like.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I wonder if that's something he's always had, you know, or I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like he's definitely gonna get that dog. I feel like season 2 is he's gonna get the dog. Like, a Punisher's definitely gonna get a dog for sure, 100%. That's just the Punisher's vibe, and you can't have a big buff white dude killing people without him having a dog. That's just seemingly the law of the universe. But well, Danny, I feel like he's definitely gonna get Joy's her pit bull. That is a pit bull, right? Or what was that? I actually can't remember. I'm trying to find it. No, it's like a Rottweiler.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I think he's gonna get that by the end of it.
Okay.
And also, I wasn't sure if they were trying to do like a power sort of thing, like he used to do in the dog, or if it is like a meditation sort of thing. Again, I feel like I could do that. I feel like I've been in plenty of situations where there's been a dog that's been super aggressive, and I've just been like, you know, I just calm it down just by, you know, not being afraid. But yeah. Let's see what's funny, but I do think it's going to come back around. Like he's going to get that dog in the end somehow, like rescuing it from Joy.
Man, I can't believe Big Al died. Like in episode 1.
Oh yeah, I really thought they were gonna do that like later. I was like, oh, they're probably gonna do something where somebody finds this place and kills him, blah blah blah. And I thought that's what was happening with Shannon and security guards and all that, but no. Yeah, he was so fantastic. Like, you know, yeah, I don't know if I have anything to say about him. Just such a kind soul. So nice. The sub was like such an amazing gesture and everything.
Yeah,
that was yeah. We also have with the homeless guy the bird tattoo on him, and then the bird in the like I don't know, transition shot.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm supposed to think about that, but that's a thing, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means, but
that was a real like. I don't know if this is just a a shot of a bird. I mean nothing in a TV show is just a shot.
Yeah.
And this is so focused on, but I don't know if it is a like is this his spirits? Is this just a general like New York thing, or is it like someone with bird powers?
Yeah, it's like it does. Are we implying that he belonged to a group that Danny recognizes the tattoo of, or you know, Danny seemed to recognize it? That was what threw me off. But like, yeah, is it just like implying a sort of reincarnation sort of thing?
Right.
Is it? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think we have enough to really dig into that one.
Yeah. But it's something. It's a thing. So then we have the actual martial arts side of things being run by
Sensei Colleen Wing.
Colleen Wing, and yeah, I don't really have much to say about her right now. Like, I think we're gonna get more on her episode 2 probably, but from right now, I don't have anything to say.
Yeah, like I don't particularly like her. I also don't really dislike her. It is a real like, yeah, I also would not hire Danny to teach kung fu.
Yeah, I don't have anything to say about her.
Yeah.
Everything was very normal with her in this episode. I'm excited to see someone fighting using a katana. Like, I want to see her cut somebody in half. If Netflix, please give me this. Like, if anything's gonna give me it, Netflix, give me this woman cutting somebody in half. I need it. I think it's just gonna be a clashing blades and all that, but I want someone's fucking arm to fly off.
Arm, I think, is much more doable. I mean, every single Phase 2 and Phase 3 movie, I believe, has an arm falling off at some point.
Yeah, the arm's gonna be so lame because it's gonna be a long sleeve.
Yeah.
And no, I want someone cut in half or their head chopped off. I want
Yeah.
like the fucking stick thing.
Right.
You know, chop their head off. But yeah, like, even with stick, we never gotta chop somebody in half. I want somebody chopped in half. I don't know why I want this so much, but I do.
We've had holes blown in people, so they have the show the insides technology.
Yeah.
It's just we haven't seen someone cut in half.
I think they just think it's too anime. Like, you can cut through somebody's head perfectly fine. You can cut through the spine there,
Yeah.
but it's too much to cut through the whole body. I do really love Danny's aggression, though.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we were talking about earlier, I do really like it when he does let it come out, like the car scene and everything like that. I think that's going to be very interesting going forward with him letting it come out and then regretting it afterwards. Like,
Yeah.
I would not have regretted anything, but I think it's more like the thing of he regretted letting the aggression take over him rather than anything that he did in that moment.
Right. Yeah, and I think that that does also contrast nicely with the dog scene, where I think it is less of a like ability to calm the dog down and more of just a like he was calming himself down because, you know, if you are angry around a dog's also going to pick up on that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I didn't take it that way, but you're right. Maybe
Yeah.
he was calming himself to calm the dog.
Yeah, because I can also definitely take that as if he has anger issues and, you know, whoever taught him how to handle that, then that is also a very clear he's getting real angry. You won't like him when he's angry. You gotta let him calm down. Now you've seen all the movies, you can now understand what, you know, people in the MCU are like. So now you can understand how they can have a fight in the middle of this big Chinese festival.
Yeah.
And people are being punched and there's a gun out and everyone's like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, people in the MCU just do not care in any way about danger. They just do not. Someone could put a gun to their head as they're buying a hot dog, and they're just going to continue to buy that hot dog. They are not going to care.
If a building is not exploding, it's not my problem.
If a building is not exploding directly next to them, it's not their
If a
problem.
building exploded in the city, it's fine.
Yeah. I mean, we basically have that in Daredevil too.
Yeah.
But I feel like that is a little bit more realistic.
Yeah.
A building exploding is different than like
Sure.
somebody in the same crowd as you with a gun just holding it like this or going to a crowd. Oh, excuse me, gotta hold my gun on the crowd so it doesn't get rushed up against you.
That's not my problem. Ward sending Shannon and the goons just, I guess, kill Danny in the street is so wild. Like, I don't have that much to say about it. It is just like, I would also be disappointed in him.
Yeah, it's such a terrible plan.
What is his plan? Even if he was a normal person, like, that's still, he's just in the streets.
Yeah. Yeah, and then like as he's going into the crowd, like I was curious, like, what is their goal here? Are they just going to, in the middle of the crowd, pull out a gun and shoot him like they can leave this big thick crowd unnoticed?
Yeah.
Especially when he's the tallest one here. Shannon was taller than everybody in the crowd.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just like, well, what is your plan? It's like, yeah, that was the plan. That was, he literally tried to do that.
Yeah.
Harold gives me big, also, like, evil nuke vibes. I say evil nuke, but
Yeah.
evil or like CEO nuke.
Sure.
I can't remember his name. Simpson. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
Now he is just in like a hospital kind of
Yeah.
place. Like it isn't like in the end when Joy drugs him and all that. Like again, he's given more drugs and all that to get back under. But he is seemingly in an actual hospital with actual like nurses and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So did they lie? Because he didn't have a chance to say anything.
Yeah.
Or is this a like they have them on payroll and blah blah blah. Also, not a fan of like the shoes. I was really hoping he was going to be bare feet during the entire thing. And the shoes are definitely the first part of his like outfit that he's going to be getting.
Yeah.
He's got the ninja shoes on. But yeah, not a fan of it. I would just like him to be bare feet the entire time. But when he's probably going to assumingly having to be blocking blades with his feet and everything, then yeah, he's gonna need that.
He doesn't have the iron foots.
How do you feel about the intro to the show?
Not super interesting.
Yeah, I think it's kind of really boring.
Yeah. Like, even Luke Cage's, which I like, I felt like, you know, the visuals are good, but that was the first time when I was like, this one's going a little too long. And with Iron Fist, it is just, the visuals are alright, but it's also way too long. Like, if you cut it down to 10 seconds, I feel like I would have everything that you really need.
Same. They already got the, like, this episode was 56 minutes long. Didn't need to be 56 minutes long. I think I'm always a fan of shows that wait to do their intro until, like, the second episode.
Sure.
A lot of anime does that. Most, you know, live action stuff does not, because it's, the intro is not very spoilery.
Yeah.
But it's still, it gives you the vibe of the series.
Yeah.
And, like, that was not the vibe of the series, I feel like. So if they're going for that for the vibe of the series, then they should have waited until episode 2, maybe.
Yeah.
Because it's not the vibe I got.
Like, a lot of the MCU Netflix series also tend to be a very, like, first half, second half.
Yeah.
And that feels very, like... I'm saying this with no idea of what the series is. But that feels very much like, you know, it's either going to be the flashbacks or maybe the second half. Whereas, like, it feels like the first half's going to be way more, like, you know, like, upper class, you know, businessy stuff.
Yeah. Like, I feel like Daredevil's intro for season 1 would have worked so much better for season 2.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's okay, but I honestly think it would have worked way better for season 2. But yes, this one, I just don't... maybe it's going to fit later on, but right now, it does not feel like it fits. Honestly, I would have just used an Outcast song. Maybe just use So Fresh, So Clean again. And just, you know... I think an intro of, like, just, like, his feet... and you know, walking, you know, along something would be, you know, interesting intro.
Okay.
Maybe like him in the background doing those moves, where in the foreground it's speeder. I don't know. It's just like it's the same thing throughout the entire intro. I think that's my problem with it. There's nothing else.
Right.
There's nothing else. Like even like you know the other ones like Luke Cage has like shots of Harlem streets and like you know just shots of Harlem. Yeah, this I think could have used anything more. Anything, but it was just, it's just one thing.
Because he's also not like writing with the fist or anything.
Yeah,
like it is ink, but it's not.
That's what I thought was gonna happen. Like you know, he's making this big ornate like image or something, but it's like not really.
Yeah,
like I think that they're going for that, but like it doesn't particularly look like anything.
Not really. Whereas, like, Jessica Jones gives off the very, like, paranoid quality of the series and makes you feel a little like a private eye.
Yeah.
Luke Cage has Harlem and also has Luke and has, like, Luke on Harlem, like, highlighting
You mean
skin.
Harlem on Luke?
Harlem on Luke, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there's something there, like, even if it's not a lot, and even if it is a little too long sometimes, I'm still like, okay, from this intro, I understand this thing about the series. Whereas I don't really think I understand a thing from the series based on this intro. And, like, maybe that'll change, but that's, yeah.
And like, yeah, the reason why I said Daredevil was, I think, will work better for season 2 is because he's like, you know, the city being coated in blood and him in costume being coated in blood and everything. Like, that fits season 2 way more.
Yeah.
Anything else you have to say about this episode?
No, I think we're good. I think we covered basically everything.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that is it. I'm excited for the second episode. I'm really excited if we're going to continue this Walkman thing and like, you know, what else we're going to get. Very, very excited. I keep saying that, but I am. See you guys for the next episode. Till then, get the fuck out of here.